Is up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Outside. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Outside Interference. It is me, Mel. Thank you for joining me tonight. And with us, joining us tonight, is a very special guest. He's a friend of the show. Sometimes some people don't like him, some people like him. You love him. He's number one. He is the former Heartstringer, now the Ultra Star. Let me introduce to you, folks, Ashton Day. Ashton, welcome to the show, sir.
What's going on, baby?
How you been since the last time we seen? Last time we seen you, you were actually going back and forth with Macho Mel in studio about how you couldn't use the belt as a dinner plate. So how have you been since that?
I'd say I've been better than ever, man.
I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So step into the ring with me really quickly and just tell us about what's been going on with you in the ring as well as outside of the ring.
Man, in the ring, I've just been evolving, man, as a performer, as a person. It's just been, early last year, I decided to take a leap and take my career to the next level, and I've capitalized on that, and I've made true of that word. I'm about to wrestle for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. So in ring, I mean, I'm just continuing to build and the right people are starting to see the progress that I'm making.
And that's a beautiful thing. That is a very beautiful thing because I have seen you in the ring personally, and it is all nonstop action with you. Now I have to, since you brought it up, I was going to ask this later, but since you brought it up, you, sir, are wrestling for the NWA World Heavyweight title coming up. But I couldn't get the clip. I guess they took it down, according to sources that I've had. But
EC3 probably had it taken down. He didn't like seeing his head get kicked off on repeat. So
that's exactly where I was going. You, sir, made your presence known after EC3's match. You left him unconscious. How did that even come about? Like, what convinced you that that was the move to make as far as making your presence known in Exodus?
Well, when I posted the clip is on my Instagram. I do have a little clip of it on my Instagram. And when you click on it, it's funny. It says my reel has a watch time of over like 3.5 hours. I guarantee you 3 of those are from EC3. So the reason that I decided that that was the right thing for me to do is because I was being told things, and I posted some screenshots. I was being told things and being given false hope that, oh, you're going to get this opportunity. This opportunity's here waiting for you. And then it would go to somebody else, and I would just be left in the dust. And here I am, undefeated in the NWA. I'm undefeated in Exodus Pro. I'm EC3's top student. And he announces there's going to be a tournament to crown the first champion. Now, of course, I can only assume with my track record, I'm going to be in this tournament. And at this moment, I decided I'm going to let everything else slide. I'll let all those other transgressions, all those other lies and broken promises, I'll let that slide because I'm sure EC3 is going to do right by me in this tournament. And then as the people get announced, and I'm not one of those people, but yet people who haven't stepped foot in either promotion, NWA or Exodus Pro, are in this tournament, I took that as a slap in my face. That they would go out there and not have me in this tournament.
I would imagine so.
That didn't feel right to me. And so I did what nobody else had the balls to do. And I stepped up and I took control of my narrative, which is the whole point of me, of him starting this whole promotion and starting his training program, is to control your own narrative. So I did exactly what he asked me to do. And I controlled my own narrative. And I came in after his match and I kicked him in the face. And I made my intentions known, holding that title above my head at the end of the night.
And you've got your match
and I got my match.
So I can only say congratulations on earning that match. Let's backtrack a little bit, just a little bit. Go back to the Mega Championship Wrestling. You hold the title for almost over a year, I believe. It was over a
No.
year. You sure?
No, it was 200 and some odd. I held it from April 30th to January 21st of 2023.
That's awfully close to a year. And
Yeah.
the Pile Driver podcast, shout out to you guys. We keep our eye on you guys as well. So shout out to you guys. Ashton, you're getting the love already.
I love you, Pile Driver podcast, whoever you are.
So you and Bryson Tiller have a hell of a match. You end up losing, and Cash Inc. turns on you.
No, not at all what happened.
Well, these are just what we hear.
Well, I probably heard that from Cash Inc. because they're obviously too embarrassed to say what the truth is. And I'll go Cat Williams on their ass right now. I don't
talk your shit then. Let's hear it.
Listen, I was in control of Cash Inc. from the very beginning. Okay. I brought Ken Vasion in to be our image consultant, to help us get more opportunities, to help us get on top, because as much as I don't like him anymore, he's got a way with words. He's got the gift of gab. I know he can get us where we wanted to be, and he did. But he overstepped a lot of boundaries. He overstepped a lot of, trying to step on my toes. This is my group. I lead this group. And it was all brewing, behind the scenes for a while. Gavin and Connor weren't really holding up to their end of the bargain. Ken kept trying to, think the group was about him, trying to put his face in the spotlight. So I told them in that match with Bryson, I said, I want you guys to stay in the back. I kicked them out and I told them to stay in the back. And they didn't want to listen to me. And they ended up costing me the Mega Championship because they tried to come back out and help me after I told them not to. And after that show, I did the right thing. And I handed that belt to Bryson Tiller because he bested me and he won that match fair and square, regardless of if I got distracted or not. That really, I don't know, losing the Mega title really humbled me in a lot of ways. And it was at that point that I knew what I had to do. And I'm the one who turned on Cash Inc. I cost them their tag team titles because, I feel it's only fair. They cost me my championship. And then then you got somebody like Chris Onyx, who I also brought in. I'm the one who got him into Mega. I'm the one who got him into Cash Inc. And they want to act like he's going to take them to places that I didn't. Absolutely not.
Go ahead.
Turned on me. I turned on them. I left the group. I did what was best for me. I did what was best for business for Ashton Day. And I continued to beat them and dismantle them one by one. We had a War Games match where I won. So as far as I'm concerned, they're in the rear view and they're behind me. They can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. But if they are going to try to spew lies and say that they turned on me and that they're better off without me, that's absolutely not true. And the proof is in the pudding. Just watch the footage.
And again, we hadn't seen you since then. So that was what we were under. Right. As we hadn't seen you, we had not, at least not to my knowledge. And I got people everywhere. I got ears everywhere. We had not seen you on at the time, Tuesday Night Turmoil at all. No brush by, no high, no post turmoil. So when Ken comes out and says you're no longer with Cash Inc., we could only assume. So this is why I'm glad that you're here clearing this up, because now we know this is what happened and this is what caused you to strike out on your own. And now you are no longer the heartstringer, you are the ultra star. So it's coming together. It's all coming together. And Pile Driver Podcast says fair is fair. I'm not going to sit here and tell you different. I agree. If I was ever part of a faction, a group, and I tell you stay back, I got this one, You know, this kind of reminds me of when Hall and Nash and the NWO turned on Hogan after Hogan loses to The Rock. You
Yeah,
know,
it's,
it
everybody. It was just I don't know, man.
well, you're out on your own. Cash Inc. is in the rearview mirror. You're making your mark on Exodus. You're making your mark again because actually we just got the top 10. And if we can pull this up really quickly, you are second behind Mega Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion Alex Daniels, who just beat Bryson Teller. So
I
what it
knew
looks like,
one or two.
yeah, what it looks like is you're on your way back to the Mega Championship on top of the NWA Championship. So if you can complete this clean sweep, I mean, man, you are on fire at the start of the year.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I'm the Ultra Star for a reason. You know, I knew when you said you had Brandon making a top 10 list, and I'm one or two. And I knew if I wasn't one, it was going to be Alex Daniels, and more power to him. He's the champion. I get it, but trust me, I know where I stand, and I know you know I know where I stand and where I'm at, and you know I would like another shot at that mega championship in the near future, whether that's Alex Daniels is the champ or if he loses it before then. And I know when I get that opportunity again, I'm not going to let it go to waste.
Well, traditionally, if we're going off traditional rules, former champions do have a rematch clause. So I'm pretty sure at any point you're going to invoke that. And, you know, Alex Daniels may be the champ, but I've seen Ashton, I've seen Alex. Alex, you would definitely have your work cut out for you. No disrespect to you, but, you
Hey,
know,
expect it all. Alex Daniels beat me fair and square at the over the summer at a Mega Under the Stars in July. We had a match. He caught me off guard with a move that just put me down for the three. You know, I
and
got it.
that's the beauty of actually watching you in the ring is like when you're in the ring, not a lot of people can actually say they got you square up. They have to catch you off guard. And I think watching you as a spectator going into this or going anytime you step into the ring, I think that counts for at least a good 30% of your game is you always have the advantage because nobody knows how to get you, you know, straight up. It's usually it's usually got to be some type of some cheat method.
Kind of shenanigan, right?
Hey, Terrence, we already know you in the system. I'm not going to comment on that, but sometimes the system uses unethical tactics. I'll say that. Moving forward again, I am not under. It was brought to our attention that you, sir, actually got a lot of momentum coming into 2024 as you have a win over the Suplex Shogun, Jackson Stone, which is a rematch from about a year ago or so, where he got the W, I believe. And I remember seeing the clip of you shaking his hand and telling him you're not the same Ashton Day as before. When you said that to him, what was the look on his face? Because I know you don't say a lot of things behind people's back. You're usually upfront about what you say. So what was his face like when you said that after the match was over?
Doubtful, man. I could tell that. I don't know. I could tell he didn't believe me, but I didn't expect what happened to happen. And it is what it is. It's not over. It's unfinished business as of right now. Right now, my focus is on EC3, and then in terms of Mega, my focus is on Shane Mercer on February 3rd. I got my workout, my work cut out for me. But once I'm done with Shane Mercer, Shogun is next on my plate, 100%.
And a lot of people don't say that about the Shogun. So if you're watching Shogun, I'm pretty sure this is going to get to you. You got your work cut out for you because this Ultra Star is ready. Now, I'm not going to sit here and take anything from Suplex Shogun, but for you to sit there and tell somebody as established as Suplex Shogun, you're not the same Ashton Day, I gotta believe that that's put something in the back of his mind. Like, I gotta be wary of this guy.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it, Shogun is every bit as good as he says he is. He's by far the strongest person I've ever been in a ring with, and he hits as hard as it looks like he hits. I mean, it's he's not an easy person to get an advantage. I mean, he's huge, but I know that I'm every bit as good as I say I am, and he's been seen by the right people. And it just so happens he's been seen by the right people before I got seen by the right people, and now I'm being seen by the right people. He, as far as established as he is, I'm going to be as established as he is pretty soon. We are on the same stage. We are on the same level. I'm as good as Shogun, and I've proven that. And I proved that in December. And whether, I mean, I can't sit here and say that I can't speak for Shogun. I can't tell you exactly why he did what he did, because it was a fair victory. I caught him with a couple of good kicks, and I got him down, and he kicked out after 3. He got his shoulder up after 3, and I don't know if it was just that close that it sent him over the edge, or if it was a combination of the past and how when I beat him the first time on the anniversary of Turmoil, it wasn't clean. It wasn't fair. I had cash ink in my back pocket, but this time it was. And I can't speak for him, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say for himself. It's not going to change the fact that he's going to get what's coming to him, but I want to hear what he has to say, because I can't help but feel slighted. I shake his hand, he shakes my hand, and then he pulls me in and gives me a belly to belly and splashes me. I mean, I'm pretty sure he broke my rib. I mean, like I'm still in pain from that. So
I can believe that. And agreed, Spike. You are right. Shogun is super strong, and for Ashton, for you to come out on top, that speaks volumes about your track record, your resume, your in ring prowess, and bro, like we did see that. We didn't want to air it because we didn't know if you were gonna. I don't want you beating me up over this, but we did see the clip, and that was definitely not like Shogun. We don't see things like that from Shogun often. So
no, we don't.
I
thought
literally
clean matchup. I mean, he did start showing a more aggressive side as the match went on, and I could tell he had a lot going on in his head. Whatever that is, if he's got something going on in his personal life or something else in his professional life unrelated to me, I don't know. But he took it out on me, and I'm not going to let that go.
Sounds like Shogun finally figured out what it's going to take to get to the next step in his career. Proud of him. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Terrence, don't start recruiting, Terrence. I know this is where you're going with this. I'm pretty sure that this is where you're going with it. Terrence, let's not start recruiting, man. I see this all the time in football, basketball, baseball. Somebody after the season makes a phone call and it's all, hey, what you doing with this guy? What you doing with this? What you doing next? I see where this is going. I'm not getting in the middle of it.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's almost as if he did to me what I did to EC3. I can't knock Shogun for doing what he did. I mean, frustration can get to you, and I understand that 100%. But when I'm at the butt end of it, I mean, as a man, I have to take exception and do what I got to do. It's not that like I hate him or hold any ill will against him for what he did, but we're gonna see who the better man is, and if he feels like it's him, come show me. Don't do it. Don't shake my hand and then pull me in. And I mean, if you're gonna hit me, just hit me in the face. Just hit me. Don't act like you're not going to, and then do it behind my back. No, I don't play like that, and that's where my problem is, and that's why, for when I did what I did to EC3, I waited till he saw me. I waited till we made eye contact, and I came at him. He knew what was coming. Shogun didn't give me the respect of that.
Understood.
So it is what it is. And after February 3rd, my focus is entirely on Shogun.
Understood. And Terrence, yes, he is his own, but you can sell salt to a slug. I've seen it at certain shows. You ain't fooling me, man. I've seen you sell salt to less than slugs. So, hey, I just don't want to be in the middle of it. That's all I'm saying. But who actually falls for handshake? Hey, some guys are honorable, man.
Well,
Ashton's honorable.
Who falls for handshake? He didn't try to shake my hand. I was the one shaking his hand. Of course I'm going to fall for it. I wanted him to grab my hand. I asked for it.
There's still honor in pro wrestling. Like, why would it not be, man? Come on.
I'm expecting him to be like, you know what? You're right. You beat me fair and square. No, I mean, he kicked out after 3, and that's just the bottom line. Whether it was close or not, referees the.
Did we lose him? Oh, there he is.
Sorry, what happened?
No, I was. We're gonna actually, because the Shogun thing. We're gonna jump back into that, but more important matters that I would like to get some thoughts on coming up. Actually, wait. Okay, January 13th. January 13th, you got Krizak at the Real Shoot Wrestling event on the 13th. I don't know much about Krizak, but obviously this guy has it out for you. What are your thoughts going into this match, or are you focused on anybody else outside of that?
I wouldn't say Krizak has it out for me, but he has it out to get his hands on the RSW championship. And I've had an opportunity at that championship, and I came out empty-handed. So I'm taking this number 1 contenders match, and like you said, I don't know much about Krizak. I can't speak on behalf of his of him as a person, of him as a performer, as a worker. I'm going in there with a clean slate. I'm going in there to have a straightforward one-on-one wrestling match, and may the better man win. And after that, I'm moving on to the RSW championship, and I'm going to win that too. And that's just the bottom line. That's where I'm at right now. I'm every single company that has a belt, I'm going to have it.
Hey, listen, Terrence. It's not that. Look, I'm a journalist, okay? It's not me trying to be a nice guy. I have to speak into reality. I don't step into the ring, okay? This is what I do. I interview, okay? But I do have to say, for Ashton to be attacked by Shogun, that's not like Shogun. We've seen Shogun for years. We've known Shogun for years. That's not like him. So, yeah, there are questions looming about why he did what he did. But moving on. I'm going to save the best for last, but in February 3rd, you have Shane Mercer. You're not, put that up one more time for the folks at home. You're not a stranger to Shane Mercer, but this is another one of those matches in Mega Championship Wrestling that can up your stock towards a rematch with Alex Daniels. And Mercer's been on a roll himself. I got it. I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning towards a draw because both of you guys can be evenly matched. I do happen to know you have moves you still haven't pulled out of the bag yet. Could we see this on the 3rd?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to dig deep in my bag when it comes to Shane Mercer. I mean, his highlights. I mean, he's going viral. He's got hundreds of thousands of views just from his innovation alone, and the way he's able to utilize his power. I mean, it's unprecedented. I mean, he's as strong as an ox. I mean, he's stronger than he looks, and he looks strong. So, how does that work? How do you look that strong and you're still stronger than you look?
Brandon X says, it was my fault. I thought 2 of my top students could just show out at the anniversary show and show mutual respect.
You can't predict what's a situation that like that, man. You can't predict that somebody's going to do that. At the end of the day, I mean, it's just making better business for you because you.
Yeah. And then Terrence follows up that with sometimes you do things that aren't like you to get what you want. Apparently he was doing what he was doing wasn't working, and now he got a way to figure it out to get what he wants.
I
This
agree.
is come now
Literally,
for those.
that's what I did with EC3. I 100% agree, but I'm at the butt of it, and I gotta do what I gotta do to keep my reputation, to keep my spot. I'm not saying that I'm doing it because I don't understand why Shogun would do what he did. I want to get my hands on him because obviously he wants to get his hands on me.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, for those watching, I have to explain this because we do, again, 216 Sports Network covers everything combat sports, boxing, MMA. Yes, pro wrestling, professional wrestling is a combat sport. Terrence Knight is manager and owner of Knight Enterprises and manager of the System. If you have not heard of them, I'm pretty sure you will. I never had too many run-ins with Terrence as a journalist, but I've got to be under the assumption that this man is trying to do some recruiting, whether it be you, whether it be Shogun, something. Terrence doesn't like talking to the media often, but when he does have a lot to say. I'm not saying Terrence is up to something. What I'm saying is this is unlike Terrence to just be interactive with the media or a TV show to this degree. But we will dig deeper into that when the time comes.
I'm a trendsetter. What can I say? It is what it is.
That actually was one of your nicknames before, the trendsetter. And then
Yep.
you became the heartstringer. I sometimes you're the bus. Oh man, I ain't never heard that one. I'm not trying to get you sued. That was the last we heard of it, man. We haven't seen you in almost 3 months. We don't know what you're up to in that amount of time, but nevertheless, we're gonna move on.
Can't even.
You also have NEO Pro coming up February 17th with Jimmy Shane, somebody else you're not a stranger of. I'm starting to see the pattern here. And the pattern here since December, the pattern I'm noticing is that everybody you have a match coming up with has been somebody you're familiar with. I gotta ask, are they coming back for revenge? Is this some type of, I'm not going to say Brandon X, but is this some type of way the promoters are trying to hold you back? Because normally you're usually seeing somebody new or somebody you haven't faced before. I'm curious, like, what do we think is going on with these patterns of matches you got coming up?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all. I mean, well, Shane Mercer, I've never shared the ring with Shane Mercer in any capacity. I've met him one time back before I was even like trained to be a professional wrestler. I did an IWA Mid-South tryout show and he was there. That's the first and only time I've ever met Shane Mercer. But in terms of the other people, I wouldn't say promotions are trying to hold me back. I think everybody else might be trying to get a little piece of the pie when it comes to Ashton Day. I'm on the rise. I'm the hot commodity. I'm the trending topic. And I think people just want a little taste. They want to grab onto the coattails and hold on for as long as they can. I mean, Jimmy Shane and I are no stranger to each other, but that's been, this is something that's been brewing for months and months and months. And we've had match after match after match. And, this is the final meeting between us two. This is where we put everything on the line and we put everything behind us. And, after I'm done with Jimmy Shane, I plan on moving on to the Neo Pro Championship, But
I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. Every match that you've got coming up within the next month is a match leading to a title match or a title match.
I wouldn't say that but they're all matches with championship implications. Absolutely. Whether it's written as a number one contenders match or not, but there's definitely what's the word I'm looking for? Like a lot on the line in these matches for sure. And with Jimmy Shane, he's been crying and moaning, and you know,
Sheesh.
he he's just incensed with this idea that he can just walk all over me and continue to badmouth me and keep my name in his mouth, and I'm not going to let that happen. And this is it. This is where I shut him up once and for all.
Wow. That, you know what? That makes a lot of sense now. I again, like you said, you are no stranger to Jimmy Shane. It seems like, you know, everyone sees what's going on. You're hitting this, you're hitting the right momentum, and your stock is rising. We all see it. And I think this is what's kicking in as, you know, we gotta, some people are thinking we gotta stop him, or some people are thinking, you know, let's make it to where it's not as easy for him. Because when you actually look at Ashton in the ring, he makes it look easy. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you folks and tell you different. He does make it look easy. And I think that's what kicks in with a lot of your matches is people see that you do things that are athletically almost impossible, and it creates a bigger problem for your opponents. So as we saw with Jackson Stone, you were doing moves he hadn't seen from you, and it obviously gave you the win. So I'm going to sit here and say, for those watching, I'm not going to say it's a conspiracy, but something just don't sit right about the way these matches are set up.
Well, I mean, I'll that those are your words, not mine. I think I might a little differently. I think once these matches are wrapped up, that's when things are going to really start to progress for me. I've got, like I said, man, people are trying to hold on to Ashton. I mean, I don't think it's the promoters or the companies. It's people trying to. They see who I am and where I'm going, and they're like, maybe I can get just a little bit of that, just a little something out of it.
Spike says that's what it means to be an ultra star, operating at the highest level everywhere you go. Spike, you are absolutely done. You're absolutely correct. Terrence agrees. Look, man, I'm not Terrence. I'm not saying nothing that we don't already see. Like, come on, man. Like, cut you a check. You brought 3 people to my show. Everyone's watching. We're a whole network. Okay, I tell you what. I give you 50 cents on the dollar. So for everybody new that we don't already know is watching, you got it. You got it. Me and my conspiracy. It ain't a conspiracy if you got some proof behind it. Ain't that what Cat Williams said? If you got receipts, it's not a conspiracy. All right? Leave me alone. Razzie Rican, that guy is a stud. Hey, look.
Hey, Brazzy,
So shout out to Brazzy. Now, the big one.
Brazzy.
The big one. You got EC3 coming up. January 27th. We've been talking about it. We see it. You kicked him square in the face. You had him laid out on the mat. You held the belt above his head. Now he knows you're there. Where do you go from there? And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that as we know you got a lot on your mind. You got a lot on your heart towards this situation. Here's the time to get it out.
I mean, winning the championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would the icing on the cake. And as the championship isn't even what was important to me when I made the decision to do what I did. It was mainly I wanted to be seen as a performer, as a person, as somebody who felt overlooked and underappreciated. I mean, you call me your top student, yet you give everybody else opportunities above me. You see it with with other people getting signed to NWA contracts, and here I am, busting my ass. And I felt like I just wasn't going to sit by and let anybody come up and make a name at my expense, or get things that I felt were that I was more deserving of. And for me, this match is more than just for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. This is about respect. This is about, like you said, making EC3 see me. And win or lose, I'm going to make sure he sees me and he's going to remember me. And win or lose, I'm looking forward to walking backstage and putting my name on a dotted line, because I'm here to steal the show. And I'm here to show the NWA. I'm here to show EC3. I'm here to show professional wrestling beyond the NWA. I'm here to show everybody why Ashton Day deserves to be at the top of the business, and why everybody should be clamoring and clawing to sign Ashton Day to their promotion, because I'm a moneymaker, and I'm going to bring and put asses in those seats just to make them stand back up at the end with an ovation. I'm the Ultra Star. I know what I am. I know what I'm worth. And I'm worth a hell of a lot more than what I was getting. So I took the initiative. I took the control of my narrative to do what I had to do. And if your name isn't Mike Hutter, if your name isn't EC3 and you're upset about what I did, it's because you're mad that I faced your fears and now I'm in a position that you could never even dream of being in. I did something nobody else had the balls or the guts or the gall or the audacity to do. And I stepped up and I saw where I could be, and I did what I had to do to get there. So maybe try directing your anger at a mirror and ask yourself why you didn't do it first. And that's just the way I look at it.
Man, to say that you are ready is an understatement.
Oh, I'm more than ready.
All right. Well, for those watching, I'll run it back down one more time. You can catch the first part of this tour of Ashton Day kicking ass and taking names January 13th at Real Shoot Wrestling in Parma. And go from there. You'll see that championship match versus EC3 on January 27th. And that will be at Bad Times on Waterloo. So get your tickets there. Hurry up and get your tickets for that match, by the way. Then from there, you go February 3rd against Shane Mercer. And that's a mega championship wrestling match. Those tickets are still available as far as we know. You might want to get those now but I can guarantee if Ashton has a title by the time that match rolls around, he will be sporting it to the ring. And from there, NEO Pro Wrestling's White Noise, you got your match against Jimmy Shane. And I'm pretty sure, hey, everything is going on from there. I'm not willing to bet against you. Again, we've seen you in the ring here at the 216 Sports Network. I'm not willing to bet against anything you got going on with that. There is a good chance, folks, you can see the NWA World Heavyweight Championship around the waist of Ashton Day. I'm not even going to sit here and tell you different. It's just a matter of time.
It ain't a question of if, it's a matter of time.
Terrence says he's starting to like this guy. If you're referring to Ashton, dude, I knew this was coming.
Ashton, he ain't referring to you. You didn't even get his group name right.
Look, again, we had not seen him. Whenever he's got something brewing, he disappears and then he pops back up with another business, another corporation, another wrestler, or 5 or 6. So it's not like we were completely wrong. He's one of those. I equivalate him to Mr. Fuji. Okay, so he was referring to you. You're right. And he loves the attitude. So again, I equivalate Terrence Knight to Mr. Fuji. Mr. Fuji always had something brewing, whether it be Demolition, whether it be the Oriental Express, whether it be Yokozuna. He always had something brewing. You had to watch out for this guy. So I'm going to use that same analogy with Terrence Knight.
I agree. He's an entrepreneur of the wrestling world.
Hey, Terrence, that's not a bad thing. Mr. Fuji is a legend, all right? He's a legend. See? Dude, all right. And you know what? We're not going to touch him anymore. We're just going to. All right. So, for the folks watching at home, is there anything else you want to get out before we close it out?
Yes, I do. I was going to.
Social medias and everything of that nature.
So my social media is across the board at the Ashton Day. But there is another show. There's another show. No flyers been released for it yet, and that's because there's a bit of confusion as to what's going on there. So on January 26th, actually the day before I wrestle EC3 for that championship, I will be in Cleveland, Ohio at Extreme Fight World. And I'm in a tournament to crown the first ever EFW champion. And I don't know what's going on in regards to this tournament. There's a bit of confusion. It's being postponed. All I know is whatever happens in the future regarding that EFW championship, one can only assume Ashton Day is going to be involved. And if I'm not, I'm going to have to pull exactly what I did on the promoter that I did on EC3. I'm going to have to do it to him too, I guess, because I'm not going to put up with that. But on January 26th, seeing as though the tournament's not going to be starting on that day, and that's fine. It'll probably be in March, he told me. So that leaves me with nothing to do on January 26th, but yet I'm still booked for the show and I'm trying to get my money. So I would like to issue an open challenge to somebody, not even an open challenge, just a challenge to somebody who I have a lot of history with and a lot of unfinished business with. Somebody who decided to stab me in my back a couple of months ago. I mean, hey, I did it to him first. I can't hold it against him. But then he wanted to go and get his ass kicked out of Mega because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. He couldn't drop his ego down a little bit. He thought he was better than he is. And I'm talking about Christian Napier. So on January 26th at Extreme Fight World, Christian Napier, I know you're going to be there. And guess what? I'm going to be there. And I want you one-on-one so we can settle things just a little bit between us. If it ain't going to be at Mega because you just couldn't shut your mouth and you couldn't keep everything to yourself, and you had to let your head get too big for your frail ass body. So I'm going to put your money where your mouth is. You thought you could lead Cash Inc. You let him straight to the ground. Obviously, you couldn't handle the responsibility that I was handling for all those months. So if you're not going to step into the ring with me at Mega Championship Wrestling, I guess Extreme Fight World is going to have to do. And Extreme Fight World is exactly the place that we need to be if we're going to settle things between us. So Christian Napier, one-on-one, I'm calling your bitch ass out.
Hope the FCC wasn't watching. Man, tell us how you really feel.
I've got a lot of pent-up emotion when it comes to Christian Napier. I finally thought I was going to get my hands on him for the last time, too. I thought I was going to wrap everything up with him, all of our history, and decided he was just going to mouth off to Brandon X and get his ass kicked out of Mega Championship Wrestling. So it is what it is. If he's not going to be there, the next time we're in the same building is Extreme Fight World, January 26th, and I want him in the middle of that ring.
Well, folks, you heard it here first. Christian Napier, if you're watching or if you see this later on, the challenge has been issued. If you want to respond, let us know. We'll gladly have you on.
I'll probably have to drag his ass out from behind the curtain and get him out in that ring. I don't care. But on January 26th, it's Ashton Day and Christian Napier one way or another.
Man. Wow. Well, folks, you heard it here first. Christian Napier, if you're watching, the challenge has been issued. You have any social media you want everybody to catch you on, follow, like, subscribe?
At Ashton Day. That's my socials across the board: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere at the Ashton Day. That's where you can find me.
All right. Well, you know how to find him for fans watching. You know where to see him. All the dates are there. We know how to find you, of course. You're a friend of the network, as always. Thank you for being on. And for those watching, check us out next week. Might have a guest, might not. You never know who's going to stop by and sit with us. But for right now, we got the Ultra Star, and I can't be mad at it. So, for the 216 Network, for Ashton Day, I'm Mel, and this is Outside Interference, and we will see you later.
Love to everybody out there, man.
City.